Hey guys, James Frampton here. I'm going to be using this 80-watt plastic welding kit I purchased from Harbor Freight. It was under $20. It's not an expensive welder, but I was going to repair a bumper on my Nissan, and so this will be the first time that I've used this product here. I've never have used a plastic welder, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up. We're going to check out and see what's inside this box here. Okay, we got the, they call it repair sticks. This is going to be a little holder for the gun, this iron here. This is 80 watts, 80 watt unit, 80 watt plastic welding. Okay, so this plugs into a regular household current. It's got the wire mesh here, and let me make sure that I'm picking this up on tape. Okay, got the wire mesh and a little brush here. I think that's all. Yeah, steel wire brush, welding stand, repair sticks, and that's it. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 pieces here. Like I said, this is going to be the first time I've ever used this. And you can buy it at Harbor Freight and get it up under, I think I paid 15 bucks for this. And I had a little repair job I had to do on a bumper cover, and I'm going to see what it's like using this. And so let's get started. This Nissan right here is what I'm going to be using the plastic welder on. The front bumper there, the front bumper cover, it's got a crack in it, so that's what I'm going to be using it on. I'll get you a close-up of it. Okay, here's a close-up of the crack. There's the damage. It's not that bad. Like I said, I've never used this welder before. The instructions on it wasn't really that great on it. I did look on YouTube to try to find a video on this welder, and I could not find one on it. There was a couple of them that said Harbor Freight plastic welders, but it wasn't the kind that I had. So I'm just going to try to do what I think will repair this. So first off, what I'm going to do before you do anything is I'm going to clean that. I'll get some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and clean that. So let me get started on that. Okay, alright guys, I raised the hood on it. Here's the crack. I'm going to go ahead and try to take this off. It had this snapped over on this piece, and it's pretty nasty in here. I'm going to have to work these out. So let me put this camera down, and I'm going to go ahead, and that's going to obviously have to be fixed there. So let me put this camera down and get those off there, and we're going to get started. Alright guys, I got the bra off here, and I went ahead and I used this Prep-All. Removes wax, grease, sanding residue, silicone, road film, just cleans everything. Cleans metal, plastic, fiberglass surfaces. So I went ahead and cleaned that that area right there that I'm going to be fixing. And I noticed down here at the bottom, this piece here came off, and there's some damage also right in there. So I'm going to be fixing that also. But I'm going to go ahead and start on this up here. And like I said, I don't have any instructions for it. No video on that particular welder, so I'm just going to see what I can do with it. Let me get the welder plugged in. I'm going to get the welder plugged in, and I'm going to see if I can get something behind that crack there, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'll go ahead, set this here on the little stand, and go ahead and plug it in here. And that green light there came on. Or it looks like it did. Yeah, it came on. So I'll go ahead and, I really don't know how long you're supposed to let it warm up. I don't guess it'll be maybe 5 minutes, somewhere around in there. I'm going to take one of these sticks here. Go ahead and take one of these repair sticks before I do anything, and just sort of get the feel of the welder. And let me get something to set that on. Okay, it's been about several minutes since I've had this plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and test it. What I did is I cut these two pieces apart. I'm just going to try to get a general idea of how this welder works. I've never used one before. I just want to get an idea about what's going on. It's starting to get hot. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and take some sandpaper and sand that down where I'm going to be welding it on that bumper. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's as hot as it's going to get. That does, okay. Just want to play around with this just a little bit just to see. Okay. Let me go ahead and set this here. I don't know, I might not even need any of this here. I may just be able to tack it and take this gun, I'm thinking, just take this welder here, this tip, and maybe just run it along the side of that crack and maybe sort of blend it in together. And if I need any filler, I'll just use a little bit of this, melt this in there. I don't know. Let me see. Let me get the sandpaper. Okay guys, as you can see, I've sanded it with this 220 here. I've got this Norton 220. I thought I had it recording. Hopefully I had it recording on that. Had the 220. I'm just taking it down, taking the paint away where the crack is, and held that part down there. So I'm gonna have to somehow or another get it where it lines up flush before I start welding. And I'm going to put something behind here so I don't take that welding tip and touch that lot. But that's about as much paint as I want to take off of it there. Use this. I got this Prep-All instead of alcohol. I usually use alcohol on it, but I couldn't find none, so I use this Prep-All. And I'll go ahead and clean that up a little bit before I start welding it. And what I might can do is take this screwdriver and pull this up just a little bit as I'm welding it. And try to blend the two pieces together right in there. Okay guys, I found a little piece of metal here. A little thin piece of metal, sheet metal. I'm going to stick it behind there. Try to pull it out a little bit, and as I pull it out, I'm trying to flush this up too. Get the two sides level. Like I said, I've never done this before, and I believe that'll be good. Huh. I'm just doing it like butter. Like you're spreading butter on a piece of bread. I hope you guys can see that. It's working out pretty good. Hopefully I don't make no big gouges in it. There you can see right there where the crack runs right up in here. I'm just spreading it together, I'm going to fuse both parts together, pieces together. Oh yeah, this is good. This is working good. Looks like I could use some material right in there. If I don't watch out, I'm going to end up making a mess out of it. First time I've ever used one of these. Let me hold that right there. Boy, that metal was going to my thumb. Let's see if the camera's still on. Yep. Okay. Make sure that my hat ain't in the way, or my head. This tip is made like an arrowhead. And I'm just smoothing it. I'm melting a little bit, just a little bit at a time. I'm not holding it in one place long, as you can see. melting a little bit and then just smearing it. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't see how it's... Alright, I think that's good. Let me hold it there for just a minute. It'd be good if I had some cold water maybe to put on it. I didn't think about that. Maybe cool it real quick. But I don't have none, so I'll think about, I might use that down there at the bottom part when I fix it. Yeah, I didn't need none of the little strips there. Obviously, if you had a big piece that had broke out of it, you would need something like that and put something behind there. Put something behind that, and that way you could fill that area in. But that little small crack there, I think that should be good. Well, just noticed something there. As I was letting it out, as I let it out back, put some more heat to it, I noticed it was cracking again. Had a small hairline crack as I was letting that piece of metal back. I get in a hurry sometimes when I'm doing something and I forget. I don't know, guys, I might have to use some of that rod. Like I said, I've never used this before. Okay, guys, I've let it cool for about 5 minutes and I've touched on it and it's still got that hairline crack there. It's not as big, but what I'm going to have to do is go to plan B. I'm going to go ahead and burn it in just a little bit deeper and add some of this plastic here to it and see what kind of results I get on that. For that, try to get some off this stick here and just burn it off inside of that. I'm going to try my best not to touch that lot, but yeah. I needed to fill this in up there at the top anyway. I'm going to put some more up there at the top. I'm just holding it flat on it, letting it burn. I could have, it'd be almost impossible for me to get up underneath, and I'm not going to take this whole bumper off for this, but it would have been good if I could have got up underneath it and welded up underneath it also, but there's no telling how long it'd take me to do that. I'm just going to burn this off in here, spread it around like butter. This is 80 watts. But it spreads pretty good. I'm not having really no problem with it sticking or anything. A little chilly out. Like I said, I was sick last week. And wanted to get outside and do something. Maybe a little cold to do this, but I'm going to put a little bit more filler in there. Stick some more filler in here. Yeah, that's where I needed it. I'm going to go ahead and spread it up in there. I'll try to feather it out here at the end. On the end of it, just try to feather it out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sand it after I let it cool, but I'm going to first make sure. But it spreads pretty good. I'm not having no problem spreading it or anything. There's a little ridge that runs up through here, so I'll try to make some kind of little ridge here with that. Alright guys, it's been about 5 minutes since I've done the repair, and I've put some of that filler, filled it in, and I tried to move it around to where it was the shape of, there's a little ridge here, and I believe that's going to do it. What I'm going to do now is just take this 220, just maybe, I don't know how that's going to sand. That sands pretty good. What I'm going to do is go ahead and get me a paint stick. And I'm going to put this paint stick, put the sandpaper around the paint stick here. That way it'll be flush. It sanded pretty good. Let me get me a rag here. Okay, as you guys can see, I'm molding it with this 220 to fit the contour of the bumper. Take some of that down. It's a slow process, but I think it's going to work out great. Let me get back to sanding it some more, and I'll show you guys once I get it sort of close to where I want it. Alright guys, I'm still sanding on it, and you can see it's a little high, still a little high there. So, but as I was sanding it, I was hoping that it wouldn't just tear apart or nothing, but it's staying real intact, it's staying together real good. So I'm going to go ahead and sand it down smooth and just shoot me some paint over it. If this was a car, this is just a daily driver car, no big deal, put that bra back on it. But if it was a car that you were really wanting to do, have a nice finished job with it, you know, you would have to feather this on out and you know, prime it and paint it and match this paint up with the car to do a good job on it. Like I said, I mean, this is just a daily driver, and I'm just going to go. I'm going to make sure that I smooth this out, have it smooth, and just shoot me a little bit of silver paint on there. Put that bra back over it. It's the first time, like I said, I've used that welder, and when I was sanding this, it sands real good, that material that they give you. And I was just hoping that it wouldn't, you know, I didn't know what to expect from it. I've never used it before. And right now I'm just taking out down the big parts. That's why I'm not using this paint stir, this stick here. But I'll put that on there and keep it flush. That way you won't, when you're sanding it, you won't make any dips or anything like that. You just keep it flush. But I'm going to go ahead and doing it like this, just taking some, it's pretty high. So I'm just taking down the high part, and then I'll start using that stick. Okay guys, I've been sanding. I used some 120, this 3M 120 sandpaper to cut down a lot of it, cut down the high spots on it. And now I've just about got it where I wanted it. Got it on this stick, and I just about got it where I need it at. Anything you're welding, if you need to put some body filler on it, just spread you a thin layer of body filler on it and get it straight and prime it and paint it. And you can match up this paint here. Alright guys, I've been sanding on it a little bit, and I'm going to hit it with some 400 paper, and I'm going to get as smooth as I can. I could sand on it a little bit longer. Obviously you feel with your hands. That's the best way to see if a panel is straight and even, especially if you use any kind of body filler or something like this plastic welder. You just rub your hands. You can spill, you can see the high and low spots, and you can fill them. But you just want to. I'm got some 400 paper, 400 grit on here, and you get the general idea. Like I said, this is the first time I ever used this, and I've got another repair down there at the bottom I got to do. So I've got a repair down there at the bottom that I'm going to do maybe next week. And in that repair I'm going to use that screen. I didn't think I really needed that screen on this one. Maybe I should have used it, but it worked out good. There's no cracks in it at all. There's no cracks whatsoever in it. So, could wet sand this too with water. It wouldn't clog up the paper that much. But I don't want to get as cold out here. It's starting to get late, and it's getting a little cold out here. So I think next week, a couple of more weeks from now, I'll fix that bottom part and come back and hit that as well. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of primer, and next week when I finish that bottom part, I'll do another video of that bottom section I'll fix, and I'm going to come back, do a little bit more sanding on this, get it just a little bit more flush. It's well there. It's about 95% there. We'll go ahead and hard spraying standing this way. Keep that from maybe any water getting in there. This is just primer. And I'll do the tape next week, or a couple of weeks from now. Come back and we're going to do that bottom, and I'll come back and hit this, and it's just, like I said, it's just about there. And that's it. Until next week. Until next week, that's the plastic welder that you can get at Harbor Freight. Chicago Electric Welding 80-watt iron plastic welding kit. And I believe I got it for, I think it was like 15 bucks. But a couple of weeks from now I'll do a tape. We're going to fix that bottom, and the next repair I'm going to use a screen on it to really reinforce that repair. Until next time, have a good day.